Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. What? I didn't mean to light the incense. It's okay. I'll light another piece when the time comes. Hope everyone is doing well. Verse of the Kesa. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Tathagata's teaching, freeing all creations. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Tathagata's teaching, freeing all creations. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Tathagata's teaching, freeing all creations. Got to have atonement. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought, now I atone for it all. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought, now I atone for it all. All evil karma ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thought, now I atone for it all. The fragrance of this incense invites the awakened mind to be present with us now. The fragrance of this incense fills our room, protects and guards their minds from wrong thinking. The fragrance of this incense unites us with precepts, concentration, and insight. We offer it for all beings. Homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I shall become one with the Buddha. I resolve that I shall each day follow the way of life He laid down for us to walk and awaken to His supreme wisdom. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I shall become one with the Dharma. The gates of Dharma are manifold. I vow to enter them all. The goal of wisdom is ever beyond. I shall attain it. I go to the Sangha for guidance. I shall become one with the Sangha. In the spirit of universal fellowship and as a member of the Sangha, I pledge myself to strive for the enlightenment of all beings. The Metta Sutta. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings. Radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upward to the skies and downward to the depths, outward and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will. Whether standing or walking, sitting or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into the world of suffering. May I be happy and well. May no harm come to me. May I learn compassion. May all my friends, family, and those I love be happy and well. May no harm come to them. May they learn compassion. May all those troubled in body, mind, and spirit be happy and well. May no harm come to them. May they learn compassion. May all those who have hurt me in body, mind, and spirit be happy and well. May no harm come to them. May they learn compassion. May all those I have hurt in body, mind, and spirit be happy and well. May no harm come to them. May they learn compassion. May all my enemies be happy and well. May no harm come to them. May they learn compassion. May all living beings be happy and well. May no harm come to them. May they learn compassion. So we'll do a little breath meditation. As the bell fades, take a few deep breaths. Belly nice and soft, so your lungs can fill and empty smoothly and completely. Breathe in long and breathe out long. Nice long in breath, nice long out breath. And you can try varying your breath. So breathe in short and out long. In long and out short, so a long in breath, and then just let it go. And just feel this in your body, how it feels to breathe different ways. In and out a short breath. And just breathe naturally. Whatever feels right to you. In and out long, in and out short, somewhere in between. We generally find that extending the out breath calms the mind and the body. And note your breaths. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, count 1 to the full length of the out breath. And then 2 up to 10, 4. Just note your breaths in, out. Or what I do, it's an old habit of mine, is breathe in, noting food, and breathe out, noting do, bu do. Means awakened. And you can begin to use the breath to be mindful of the body. So a good way to do this is to kind of scan the body, bringing the breath attention to different areas. So pick a spot, bring your attention there, bring your awareness of the breath to that spot as if you're breathing through your skin. If there's tightness or something like that, you can release it. There's an unpleasant sensation or neutral sensation or whatever, something that doesn't just release, you can just accept it. This is a big part of meditation, bringing mindfulness to what's going on in the body or the mind and the mind. And whatever comes into the consciousness, let it go or let it be. Let go or let be. Some things we can easily let go of. Thoughts that arise. Tightness we weren't aware of in a muscle. That we can just relax. Some things we need to let be. Important thing is to not try to push anything away, not try to hold on to anything. Release, accept. So after you scan your body a little bit, you can just rest with the breath. Just bring your attention back to your nose or your belly or wherever it's comfortable to feel the breath. I'll ring the bell twice to end the meditation. I think it's the first time you can take a deep breath and just kind of recenter your attention. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And when the bell sounds the second time, just bow, acknowledging that you spent this time developing your spiritual life, training your mind. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, existing right here now, and offering candles and incense, hearing the Dharma and training the mind. Great merit is attained. We dedicate this merit to the great Master Shakyamuni Buddha, the all-pervading and everlasting three treasures, to the 16 guardians and all protectors of the Dharma and their relations throughout space and time, to all ancestors of the Sangha and all beings in the Dharma world. May penetrating light dispel the darkness of ignorance. Let all karma be resolved and the mind flower bloom in eternal spring. May the Dharma body maintain strength and health, and years of life be lengthened for all teachers of this Sangha. May their vows be fully realized. May they live in perfect peace with Buddha Dharma. We pray for those suffering from violence and those who grieve for them, for those living in oppression, for all who are imprisoned who should be free, for all refugees from violence, hunger, and catastrophe, man-made or natural. We pray for the health and well-being of those suffering from diseases of body, mind, or spirit, those working toward the healing of those afflictions. We especially pray for those suffering from COVID-19, those protecting and treating them, and those grieving for those lost to this pandemic. May they be serene through all their troubles, and may we realize the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Panya Paramita. Hi. It's nice to see there are people here. I was wondering. In fact, I usually by about 10 till I start seeing people show up. And YouTube was saying that there was nobody watching. But I don't know. I don't know how accurate that is ever. But right now it says there's 17 of you. So which surprised me. I thought, well, Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, maybe they'll all be at the grocery store or whatever. But this is such an unusual time. Very unusual time. Very stressful in ways that we're not used to. All those kinds of things. So I wanted to talk about gratitude a little bit. And I remembered this, there's this little booklet. It's not really very big. That Greg Creech sent all of the members of the Toto Institute one time, I think it was. And it's called Tunneling for Sunlight. Maybe I had to buy it. I'm not sure. Anyway, I got one. And it's tunneling for sunlight, 17 maxims for meeting life's challenges. And I was, I had forgotten about this. And then as I was cleaning up bookshelves and stuff, I came across it again. And doing some of these readings, I've got a group of colleagues at Stetson who meditate together on Zoom or on Teams, actually, on Wednesday mornings. And we usually start with some readings and stuff. So there's some short ones here that I like. And so this one I remembered. And so I wanted to share it with you. So the maxim, it's 17 maxims for meeting life's challenges. These are basically, if you were talking Zen talk, you might call these turning words or turning phrases. They're or something that you can use to kind of sum up practical experience, right? As in experience with practice and things that you want to remember to work with as you practice in real life. So, and not that, Wednesday night Dharma studies are not real life, but, the rest of your life. So, gratitude disappears. Gratitude disappears in the shadow of entitlement. So these all have sort of a cryptic quality when you first approach them, but when you kind of mull them over, say them a few times, it kind of starts to make sense. Gratitude disappears in the shadow of entitlement. So here's what Greg said about this. Whenever you believe you're entitled to something, you're placing it in a shadow. It's like being given a beautiful rose bush and then planting it in the darkest part of the forest where it gets no sun. What will happen? Well, eventually it will die. The more we think we deserve something, the more difficult it is to genuinely appreciate it as a gift. So true. The more we think we deserve something, the more difficult it is to genuinely appreciate it as a gift. And so he gives some examples. My wife brings me a cup of hot coffee. My daughter fills the car with gas. My colleague sends me a book that I might like. If I think I deserve these things, my responses might be, it's about time you made the coffee. Wow, for once she actually left me a car with gas. That's the first time she ever sent me something without me asking for it. But suppose I start from a different place, a place where I'm not entitled to anything, where I don't deserve anything. I'm not entitled to coffee or to drive a car. I don't deserve a nice dinner on my birthday. I don't even deserve a Wi-Fi signal or cell phone service. Suppose you could start your day with the sense that you were entitled to nothing. Everything at that point would truly be received and experienced as a gift. The use of the toilet, hot water in the shower, a toothbrush, the use of a telephone, and the roads that allow you to drive to work. Each of those items and experiences is like a rose bush planted in a sunny garden. After a while, the whole garden is full of roses. So here's a trade-in better than any car dealer will offer you. Trade your sense of self-entitlement for an expanse of roses as far as you can see. No down payment required, just daily maintenance. I like that. It says a lot in a fairly few words. And, you know, I almost always end up giving a Dharma talk on or around Thanksgiving or, you know, the Sunday of that weekend or something. I always talk about gratitude. And gratitude is a good topic. It's interesting. It's not gratitude the way we talk about it, the way we say thank you, for example, is not endemic culture. Endemic, is that the word I want? I think it is. For example, you know, I've sort of been trying to learn Vietnamese for about 5 years now. I haven't gotten anywhere with it, but apparently they don't actually say thank you or something like thank you very much. I was at White Sands once and the abbot was talking about something and he said something like, we don't say thank you because we're Buddhists. So, I didn't know what that meant. I never have asked him. I really should ask some of the Vietnamese people about that sometime. But, you know, in Southeast Asia and other Buddhist countries, you know, when a monk goes on an alms round, we were talking about this one of the Thursday night meetings because this came up in the Dhammapada, one of the backstories on a Dhammapada verse. When monks go for alms rounds, they see it as if they're doing a favor for the people in the village or the neighborhood that they're doing the alms round in, because their presence to receive alms is an opportunity for someone to do a kindness, you know, to do something meritorious and then get the karmic benefit from this good action, right? And so to say thank you for that is a little weird. I mean, it would just seem inappropriate to them to thank them for doing something that, you know, that I do something to benefit you, and then I thank you for me doing it. It's confusing, but but I don't think that means that they're ungrateful, right? Because I think it's just a matter of the way the language is structured. You know, language is a very interesting thing, and how you talk about something really kind of tends to affect how you think about things. And that idea that if I do something that enables you to do something meritorious, you know, that's doing you a favor. That is true, but it also benefits me. You know, I miss, this is not something most people say very often, I miss going to the prison. You know, I miss being in prison. We haven't gone since COVID-19. And they opened the chapel back up for a while, but the infection rates were still kind of high. And I think the chapel's open now, but the infection rates are kind of spiky and stuff. So they're really kind of saying, well, you know, you can come, but, you know, use your own discretion. Well, my discretion is I'm not going to go because if I go there and I'm exposed to someone who's infected, then I have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And, you know, with parts of my I would be required to. So I haven't been since March, and I miss it. And one of the reasons that I miss it is that I go there, you know, to do something kind for people who otherwise would not be in a position to hear the Dharma. And I always feel very rewarded by that. and they thank me, of course, but I often thank them. And Paul, the other monk from Brevard Zen Center, who goes there too, we've talked about that, and he feels the same way. That we both feel much rewarded by this opportunity to do this. So, so I would say that the opportunity to go on an alms round is not something that you're entitled to, right? To come back to what Greg Creech was saying, why would I be entitled to go to an alms round just because I've got on certain kind of robes or whatever? Here's a place where there are people who are willing and not just willing, but happy to support you, to accept this favor. And it's very meritorious to be a monk. That's one of the reasons some people do it. It's very meritorious. It's your spiritual practice is something that's going to benefit you. Anyway, back to this idea of gratitude and entitlement. We do tend to take a lot for granted. And I think one of the most transformational aspects of doing Nikon, for example, which if you're doing the Monday night workshops, we'll be tackling in a couple of weeks. And many of you have done Nikon with me before. That's one of the things about it is when you start looking at all the different ways you're supported, all the things that you're given, without even having to think about it, suddenly your whole world really does change. So if Thanksgiving were a Buddhist holiday in my school of Buddhism, then it would really be all about that. It would be all about spending the day really looking in detail at how we're supported. I think a big part of the problem with our culture is that we're not grateful enough, even though the whole country celebrates Thanksgiving. Well, most of the people in the country celebrate Thanksgiving every year. A lot of people really don't have a lot of gratitude. So in Pali, the language that's similar to what the Buddha would have spoken, ancient India dialect, the phrase for gratitude is something like kata nuta, which translates pretty literally to knowing what has been done. Right? In other words, being aware that something has been done on your behalf. So one way that you could practice with this tomorrow, if you wanted to, would be anytime somebody does something for you, when you thank them specifically for what they did. So this is a practice some of you have heard about from me before, probably, but it comes from Greg's book on Nikon, and mindful thank yous, saying thank you mindfully, and not just, oh, I'm mindful that I'm thanking someone, but I know what has been done on my behalf. Thank you for opening the door for me. Thank you for putting the groceries in the grocery bag, right? Thank you for cooking the turkey. Not just, oh, thanks for the great meal. Thank you. Think about it. If you're one of the people who's fortunate enough to be having Thanksgiving dinner with family this year, which I know a lot of people are not, but if you are, think about what goes into creating that meal. It's pretty amazing when you think about it, especially if you go beyond just, the few hours before you arrive to eat, to all of the things that it took to get all of that food available to you. The person who grew the turkey or the soybeans that made the tofurkey or whatever it is that you're going to have, right? All of that stuff has to happen before you can eat a meal. It's incredible when you think about it. One of the prayers that I say, before eating is reflect on on this meal and what it took to get it, right? The it's actually reflecting on the offering and what it took to create this offering. But you can do that every time you eat. You might have gone to the store and shopped for it and paid for it, but it's still a gift. It's still a gift. Okay. Even though, somebody got paid to grow the stuff, they still grew the stuff. So you didn't have to. Right? So that would be a useful thing to do tomorrow. Another thing would be to look for the things that are just automatic, things that you don't really see. You turn on a light switch and there's light. I touched the wall and light's on. Wow. I didn't have to do anything to do that hardly, right? I turn a faucet. Greg talks about, being thinking, I'm not entitled to use the toilet, right? You push a handle and all your bad stuff just goes away. Wow. What if you really didn't get that, right? Your life would be considerably harder if you didn't get all these things. It always amazes me when someone is, talking about the government, how bad the government is. There was this moment several years ago when I was doing. I think it was when I did the Nikon course with the Toto Institute, Greg's Institute, and I was on my way to Daytona Beach, or driving up 92 between DeLand and Daytona, and I passed this business, and the guy had a sign in front that said, "I built my business. The government didn't build my business." So, and I'm kind of immersed in Nikon at the moment. So immediately, I start seeing, oh, did you build this road? I mean, I didn't go in and have this conversation with the guy. I'm sure he wouldn't have appreciated it. I might have got punched in the nose. At best, I'm sure that it would have fallen on deaf ears. But think about it. We do sort of see like the government as this monolithic thing that's just kind of there to, to take our money from us, right? Take taxes away from us. Not thinking, well, the government is actually a whole bunch of people. It's constantly changing. It exists because we support it, and it exists in order to support us. And so you think about like what it took for this guy to have this business. There was this highway, 4-lane highway going right by his place so that trucks could bring materials to, I don't remember what kind of business it was now, but he sold something. Well, somehow it had to get there, right? He didn't have to like go hacking his way through the woods to go find whatever it was, right? People brought it in a truck. The truck rode on the highway. It was regulated too by the government so that it would actually work and, get the truck driver there without killing himself and, all that kind of stuff. Power plants. I mean, we pay a power bill, but, the electricity is there so he can turn on his lights in his business because of, taxes and bonds and all kinds of things that are related to government, semi-related to government, and so on. So tons and tons of stuff that happens without him even trying, right? And I'm sure, that what he thinks about is, well, I got to write these checks every month to pay sales tax. I got to write these checks every month to pay payroll tax, all that kind of stuff. And not thinking about all these things that he gets just because he gets them, because they're gifts. They're gifts from people like me and you, right? Not some, the government. Right? So it's really interesting when you start to look at the world this way. So the other thing to think about too with Thanksgiving is that, we have this country to live in, that we weren't particularly entitled to. I mean, we're born here, so it's our home and all of that. But, unless you're a Native American, right, then there are people who really were more entitled to this land than we were. And so I kind of like to acknowledge that on Thanksgiving, at least mentally. It would be nice to have a practice that somehow benefited the people who were here first. If you have any thoughts about that, let me know. It would be, I think maybe one of these days we'll have our version of these holidays, Buddhist holidays, and to do something positive for people who maybe, this is not Thanksgiving, right? This is the day to realize that your ancestors lost this country, lost this land. That's a big deal for a lot of people. Anyway, we can just going back to the Pali phrase, I think, which connects so well with what Greg says in this the things disappear in the shadow of entitlement, knowing what has been done and not just know it and then seeing it, bringing it out in the sunlight. Don't hide it under the trees in the forest, but let it bloom, and when you do that, it really makes you happier. It doesn't make you, it shouldn't make you feel bad, maybe make you a little bit more inclined to be kind to someone. So that would sort of be the third thing that I would say if we were going to make a Buddhist Thanksgiving holiday, would be to look for an opportunity to be kind to someone. And there's a lot of people who do that. There are people who, right now planning Thanksgiving dinners for international students that are stuck in the country because they're not allowed to fly home, and that kind of thing. Then there's people who give turkeys to the neighborhood center this time of year. And, I have a friend who's a minister, one of the churches here in town, one of the historically Black churches in town, who, every year goes around and collects turkeys. People will go to Publix and buy a frozen turkey or Winn-Dixie or wherever. I'm not lobbying for any particular supermarket, and buy a turkey and give it to him. And he takes it and gives it to families that couldn't afford one otherwise. So as we're heading into the holidays, it's going to be very easy to feel isolated, to feel like things are not normal, because they're not. A lot of people are not traveling the way they could be. The ones who are, they're having to deal with risks of infection and things like that. So it's a challenging time. So when you're going through difficulties, look for those things that are being done on your behalf, and it will change your view of what your world is really all about when you do that. When you see that even when in times of difficulty, that there are other people who are looking out for us. It's real easy to notice when you go to the store and the one guy in the store who's not wearing a mask, and to think about what a jerk he is. But you're overlooking the 150 people who are in the store who are wearing masks, right? And who are being conscientious. So when you just kind of change your view on those things a little bit, makes you a happier person as a result. So, in the holidays, as we roll into the holiday season, Black Friday, emphasize kindness in your own life, emphasize awareness of what's being done for you. And I think you'll be happier as a result. So anyway, that's pretty much all I had for tonight. Thank you for being here, and always appreciate you taking the time to listen to me talk, and happy that so many of you found the time to do it this evening. So I will see you if you come tomorrow. I'll be there, and White Sands Sunday morning, and hopefully the live stream will work this time. So if you can't make it to White Sands, you can watch me on YouTube. So have a good night, everyone.